Greg Hall with Hall's Auto Care, Steve Record with RAI Advisors, Fat Willie's Sports Bar, Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home, and Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Clear skies tonight with a low of 32 degrees. Friday, sunny with a high of 65. Saturday, sunshine with a high temperature of 71 degrees. I'm meteorologist Ray Miller on News Radio WGNS. Right now, it's 62.
Broadcasting to every nook and cranny of Rutherford County's 618 square miles. FM 100.5, 101.9, and AM 1450. Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network. WGNS, Murfreesboro. W270AF, Murfreesboro. W263AI, Murfreesboro, Smyrna.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, streaming worldwide on WGNSSports.com, and always at the game. The game. It's Primetime Sports, presented by Ideas Tees. Get an in-depth look at what's going on in local sports and a look ahead at the week to come. Let's get it started by joining the Primetime Sports team for the show here on News Radio WGNS.
Hey, good evening on this Thursday night. Clark Blair joining you here for Primetime Sports. It is definitely playoff time, Rod.
This is the fun time of the year.
Not only that, it's playoff time because John Dinkins is here.
That's right.
You mean award-winning John Dinkins?
I don't know what award I won, but hey, I'll take it.
Hey, it is definitely playoff time. He is award-winning. We've got lots and lots of football to talk about. We've got some semifinalists talking Mr. Football to talk about. We'll talk first, and I'm glad John's here because we're going to talk baseball first.
Wait, well, we better.
We've got to talk baseball first. That is always important because not only is baseball season over, now the off season starts, which sometimes is almost as fun as regular season.
It can be. I heard, though, the Cardinals are signing everybody, so it doesn't matter.
Your Braves re-signed somebody today.
Yeah, I don't know how the Cardinals didn't get him, but the Cardinals are every player's going to sign with the Cardinals.
Every player.
Yeah.
Most cheapskates.
He is looking for
Rod.
He's looking for a few good men, exactly. All right, tonight's show, as always, is brought to you by Ideas Tees, the place in Rutherford County for school spirit wear, screen printing, embroidery, specialty items, and more. Plus, buy all of your officially licensed MTSU Blue Raider merchandise from Raider Tees. For Blue Raider tees, polos, hats, and more, visit their showroom at 910 Ridgely Road. Just turn off Broad Street between Chewy's and Chili's. Ideas Tees can put your logo on just about anything. Stop in and see how they can help you promote your favorite team, workplace, or organization. Find it at ideastees.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Over 100 crispy Old World pepperoni.
Cheesy crust edge.
This Fanceroni pepperoni from Little Caesars is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, me too. Fancy isn't measured by your inseam. Because if you are what you eat, then we're all feeling mighty fancy today. Yeah!
Try the Fanceroni pepperoni with over 100 Old World pepperoni.
In Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Church, and Old Fort.
Pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They tell you what to do. They walk you through it. It's been my experience that what I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Visit our website at parksauction.com.
Hi there, Parks Auction, 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
Each team knows which play will be the winning move. I'm Good Neighbor State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I'd love the opportunity to talk to you about combining your home and auto insurance. Call me at 615-900-0877 to make the winning move that can save you time and money.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck goose. You do anything to protect your kids. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams, and it's important to protect them with life insurance. I can make it easy and affordable for you to protect your family.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, welcome back. We're going to start this segment talking about baseball. So congratulations to the Texas Rangers and the two fans that watched that game. We were just talking about how low viewership it was.
I watched one inning. I watched the home run by Simeon, and then I watched the last inning. Who's that guy that pitched? What, Sporgs? What's his?
Yeah, I can't even pronounce
it. Sporgs.
Yeah.
He was awesome. But they had better pitching. I mean, their pitching was better.
Well, they have better hitting, too.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime.
And they lost Garcia. They lost their best hitter,
Well, I didn't keep up with the Rangers or the Diamondbacks, and I was reading some stuff this week. And did you know Bruce Bochy, the manager, a little over a year ago was in Nashville living?
He lived here for, they said, 3 years before they got the call. He'd been retired.
Didn't know that. He was coaching his grandson's T-ball team. And they said, hey, you want to move up from T-ball to Major League Baseball in Texas?
Sorry, son. I've got to play the World Series, and we'll be back. Just back what we were doing.
And then the kid from Elizabethton, Tennessee. I didn't know that kid was from Elizabethton, that Evan Carter, the outfielder, who had a fabulous postseason run.
But seriously, if you're an average fan, not like you, Rod, you're really, and you and I are really into it, and Clark to some extent, but you wouldn't know half the guys on those teams.
I looked at the Rangers roster to see if that's how I bumped into this kid, the Carter kid from Elizabethton. He went straight out of high school. He's only been in the in Major League Baseball for 3 years, and in the middle of the summer he was at AA.
Right, and he came up in August, sent him back down to work on some things, came back in September. He was on base every game. It was about 16 games or so. He batted 300, had an ops of 917. The only one that was higher than him was Corey Seager, who was the MVP.
Well, what you need to do is get Will Smith. The left-handed reliever. 'Cause
That's
he's
exactly
won,
right.
He's won 3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Three rings in a row. Houston, Atlanta, and Texas.
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty good run for him.
Got to get him. Sign him.
Is
Cardinal. Well, no, he's going to sign with the Cardinals.
Is he a free agent?
I think so. I think it's a 1 year.
We need relief. We need starters. We need it all.
You need it all. All right. So we mentioned last week the trade market is now open for business. Free agent signings start Monday. Mr. Dinkins, Mr. Brave, would you like to see Sonny Gray go to Atlanta?
I would. I would like to see somebody in addition to Sonny Gray go to Atlanta. But yeah, that would be a good start. Depends on if Morton retires or not. They definitely need a fourth one to go with the big three, I call them. And Sonny would be great. I mean, he would be great. He's a local boy, sort of, kind of, to Atlanta. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's hard to predict what Anthopoulos is going to do. I mean, he goes down and picks people you're not expecting in free agency. I don't think they'll pick Sonny won't command as much money as, say, like a Randy Johnson type or something, a big ace, But yeah, he would be a good addition. But he's going to the Cardinals, I heard.
Right. We're going to have Nola, Snell, and Gray. I got to figure it out. Just listen to the Cardinals.
To tell you what, I like Nola. I really do. But he throws lemons sometimes in big games. Mm-hmm. And the Braves have bombed him on occasion. So I'm not really too sure. Now, Snell, left-handed, yeah, that's one I'd be going for. But the Braves, if it's money-wise, I think Sonny could settle for a little less money, and I would love to see him play for Atlanta. I really would.
I would too.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him in
great.
Atlanta. But he won't settle for less money because he's going to get over 10, I think.
Well, I think if you look at the innings pitched and that kind of thing, he doesn't go like 7, 8, 9 innings. So he goes, but he'll give you 5 or 6 good ones, and in the Braves rotation, that would be perfect because that's what they all do if you got to get enough bullpen.
But we were talking about Sonny last couple of weeks because this is coming up. One of the things I heard Sonny wasn't happy about is the Twins yank him after 5.
Right.
That helps his arm. I mean, if they're going to pay him.
He lost some games. I mean, they lost some games because of that too. Yeah. And I don't know why that is. Maybe there's something I don't know. But
now we see that in the playoffs all the time.
But Sonny's changed his pitching style a lot, and he's more of a control, and he's still got it. He can still throw it up there, but that would be a great addition if he doesn't sign with the Reds. Oh, well, he's been there before.
He's been there before.
Yeah, everybody's been to Cincinnati at least once.
Well, Chapman, who was with the Rangers, the reliever, he's been with Cincinnati. So,
but I think the Braves need pitching. I think their bullpen is okay. I think they're going to get Matzik back. I think their bullpen's going to be strong. They may see them go after somebody else to beef it up a little bit, but starting pitching is what I'd look for. I wouldn't even. Everybody's talking about Rosario and left. I wouldn't even worry about left field. He hit 25 homers and drove in 80 runs. Nobody played well in the playoffs, so they can't go by that performance at all.
No.
So, yeah,
not at all. All right, so Sonny Gray, seasoned veteran. Let's switch sports and go to a rookie. Let's talk Will Levis and the Titans. Were you impressed?
Very much so. I mean, I expected him to show a stronger arm. Maybe get some balls downfield, but I mean, he just totally had control of the game.
4 touchdowns, set an NFL record, tied, we know this guy, Fran Tarkenton, and then we also know Marcus Mariota.
It's kind of the tales of two players.
Two very different quarterbacks. So which one is Will Levis going to turn into be? Fran Tarkenton or Marcus Mariota?
Levis's arm, and I was so impressed with his accuracy. But he threw one when he's running to the right side and threw it across field to
falling backwards.
Yeah, and it was right. It was perfect. Now, whether he can do that tonight remains to be seen. And he's going to have some bad games. I mean, almost all rookies do, and on the road. But talking about Mariota, I always thought he got a bad rap. He had like 8 offensive coordinators in the 8 years, the 6 years that he was there,
and none of them
4 different head coaches.
None of them put him in a system that fit him.
No. And I don't know. I think, of course, you would think Arthur Smith at Atlanta would have figured it out and gotten him going, but there may be a case of mentally I
think
can't do it.
He was about going time Arthur was in there.
Yeah.
Or Vrabel either.
Probably the best all-around performance by the Titans this year. Levis 4 touchdowns, Henry over 100 yards, Defense had 6 sacks. But like you said, we're in Pittsburgh, and that's tonight, 7:15. I'm going to fly home so I can watch the Titans. I think it's going to be an ugly game, just to be honest, in Pittsburgh in the cold.
I do too. I'm thinking you're looking at 17-13, something like that. If we get a touchdown, I'll be tickled to death. But, there are going to be games like that. But the offensive line played really well Sunday. But you're at Pittsburgh, you're on the road, you've had 4 days to get ready. The offensive line could really give them fits tonight.
We've got a guy hurt, not that any of the offensive linemen are all pro. And then Levis is going to look across the defensive line and see T.J. Watt. He's probably one of the best defensive linemen in the league. So, yeah, we got to stop him.
Don't you think, Clark, the Titans' defense is going to be the turning point in this game? Because I don't think either offenses are going to score a lot.
No, because there's a good chance that Pittsburgh's going to be playing Trubisky, who's their backup quarterback, because Pickett got hurt. So, yeah, it may not even be 17-13. He may be one of those 9-6 or, like I said, 13-9 games.
Well, that's kind of I want to have Henry in my backfield.
Yeah. It'd be nice to have
look for him to really run quite a bit tonight.
Steelers defense is not the Steelers defense that we thought of when we're kids. You think there's no steel curtain in Pittsburgh right now.
But those yellow hankies, man, that's a game changer. Those yellow hankies flying out all the time. It's crazy down there.
It is crazy. They love their Steelers a bunch. So last week we talked about, I thought if they lost, we'd have seen a fire sale. They won. They didn't make a move after Byard. Good move, not good move.
I don't know what they're doing. To me, Rod, what do you think? I don't think.
Well, I think they were just waiting. If somebody really gave them a good offer, but if you're going to get a 6th or 7th round for Henry, why not just stay with him for now? Because I think they see a possibility with our division. Maybe we can still make the playoffs.
I'm not too sure you don't extend Henry and Tannehill, then trade them when they're after their contract. If they extend their contract and it's less money, I think people would be willing to give them a 3rd or 4th for Henry. But, that may be the barn door may have already been closed on the two of them. I mean,
when the Vikings quarterback, when Cousins got hurt this week on Sunday, Nolan and I both said they're going to trade for Tannehill. They did not trade for Tannehill. They traded for Josh Dobbs, former Tennessee quarterback that got traded to Arizona before the season. Now he's on the road to Minnesota. So that was a little window I was hoping to get rid of him.
May be making his niche in football. You need somebody who come in who's smart and pick up very quickly, which we know he is, aeronautical engineer. That might be his job, but it also may tell us that maybe Tannehill better be looking for a backup, and why not stay here and be the kind of mentor and backup for Levis.
Oh, well, it's his last year. If Ryan's smart and he sees the writing on the wall, I'm going to be the perfect backup quarterback. I will wait my turn, not get traded to some team I don't want to go to. I'm free agent next year. I have a little more choices of where I can go.
Yeah, unless Levis just completely just blows it in the next – because Tannehill's not going to be ready by next Sunday either. They're going to milk that high sprain to see what they can get out of Levis and see what he does. I think that high sprain's going to go on for like 4 more weeks. And then if he's struggling, they might go back to Tannehill. But I just think his days are done, and probably Henry too, really, after this season. I think you'll see Rand Carthon's got something in mind, but we can't see it yet.
Well, he may let Henry go out on the market and say, hey, buddy, if you can find a good deal, we're all for you. Thanks for what you did. If you don't find a great deal, here's what we'll be glad to offer you.
And Byard is a great teammate and a great player, but again, he's 30 and he's making a lot of money, and he plays a position that you can get in the draft. I think that's part of it. I hate that he left, but I don't think they wanted it. I don't think they wanted. That's why they asked him to take a pay cut. At the beginning of the year. I think they saw the writing on the wall. I don't know how active he's been defensively, so I don't want to talk about stats, but
he hasn't had an interception.
Yeah,
he may have slowed down a little bit, but I think part of it was they had a better offer. They could get more for him than anybody else, and that was a 5th and a 6th and a player.
Yeah.
You know, but and everybody else, is when they talk about it, you'd be like 7th or 6th, 1.
I was just selfishly, as a MTSU guy and a local guy, hated to see him go.
Well, but look at him now.
He's going to chance to win a ring.
Probably going to go to the Super Bowl. So good going for him. That's good news.
Good news. All right, so I got to take a step back because I put my sticky note down. I got a sticky note because I got a quiz for you boys.
You mean with an agenda like this, you
I
had
know,
to use
but
a sticky note?
I hit it because it was a last-second thing.
Oh,
so with the Rangers win in the World Series, there are now only 5 teams that have not won a World Series, gentlemen. Can we name the 5?
Brewers.
That is 1.
Cleveland. Guardians.
Well, they're not on the list. The Indians won 1 year ago.
Seattle Mariners.
That is number 2. Very good.
I think with Cleveland, you go way back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you go way back.
1940.
Go west, young man. Go west.
Yeah. Okay.
There's your clue.
Padres.
San Diego.
The Padres are 1. Now, don't go so far. It's getting a little rocky around here.
Well, no, Kansas.
American or National League?
It's National League. It's getting a little rocky around here in this answer.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me think. The Marlins have. They've won
now,
2.
There is a team in Florida that has not, but they had a great season this year.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And then a National League team. Oh,
it's getting a little rocky. There's your hint.
Oh, Rockies, Colorado Rockies.
No, the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
That's your 5. My Reds have won them, just not in a while.
They were great in the 70s.
They were great in the 70s, early 80s when I saw them. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk a little MTSU football.
Since 1966, Vans Heating and Air has been a symbol of quality for Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. Alton and Jason Fan are there to ensure quality to every customer, even showing up on site. Vans Heating and Air is located on Jayhawk Court near the county school board offices. They ask that you stop by or call 615-893-7930. That's 615-893-7930 for friendly, complete service on Amana, Bryant, or American Standard Heating and Air products. Vans will do it all. Sell you your choice of products and then install it with their factory-trained, experienced professional staff. In the unlikely event you need service, Vans will be there with trained technicians. Vans specializes in new homes, custom homes, or existing buildings. Give Vans Heating and Air a call today, 615-893-7930, 615-893-7930. Good luck to all of our schools and student athletes from Vans Heating and Air.
We're at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive, talking with Anne-Marie Brents.
When people walk in and they're like, tell me what's good, I usually tell them the loaded baked potato, which is a fully loaded potato with the butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon, and chives, and then we put meat on top of it.
At Rick's, they use the largest potatoes you can find.
Every Tuesday, we run a special on the loaded potatoes. We call it Tater Tuesday, and we sell a lot of potatoes.
Barbecue, smoked chicken, ribs, they've got it all at Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive, and online at ricksbbq.com.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas. Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we're back. We're going to talk a little college football. We're missing Danny, though, tonight, but I don't feel sorry for Danny. Yeah. No horsing around with Danny because Danny is in Santa Anita, California, where it is 89 degrees as we speak, not 39 degrees.
He's there while his brother's keeping the business alive.
Keeping the business alive. He's at the Breeders' Cup. If you'd like to learn more about the Breeders' Cup and things going on, go to WGNSradio.com, and Danny's got all kind of articles for you. Danny wanted to be on the show tonight, but I thought, man, you're in California. Get out there and enjoy it. All right, somebody else that's out west, that's your MTSU Blue Raiders. They're heading to New Mexico State for a 5 p.m. kickoff after an 18-day break. We were talking about baseball. Breaks aren't great. Is it great for football?
No. Not 18.
Not
I would
18
say a
days.
week.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to get the nicks and bruises healed up. Lord, 18 days.
Yeah. You do have time to prepare for your next team. I will say that. But 18 is almost like you get the rust that's coming back on by then.
Like your first game of the season
It's
again.
I mean, 18 days is like, I mean, that's 3 weeks. That's almost like a month.
It's unbelievable. They're playing New Mexico State again Saturday night. New Mexico State, very strong offense, aggressive defense. It's a game the Blue Raiders have to win. Sitting there at 2-6. If you have any hopes of making a bowl game, which MTSU's done the last 3 years, you got to win this one. The next 3, FIU, UTEP, and Sam Houston, very winnable games. This is a tough one, Rod.
This is the toughest one to get to the bowl. So this is the first step. So, I mean, they're just going to have to battle. They've come through in the last week or two. I thought they really played well against, what's the name?
Liberty. They played Liberty really well.
Right, that's Liberty. And if they keep playing like that, I think they can come through. But they're going to have to keep that same level.
Absolutely. New Mexico State's won their last 4 games in a row, but they did lose earlier this year to Liberty 33-17 on the road. Again, that kickoff time is at 5 o'clock, and then WGNS will start with the kickoff show right around 4:30 on Saturday. Vanderbilt, nobody cares. They're 2-7. They're going to get stomped again.
I think they have their best chance.
I'm sorry. You got your Vols up. I thought I could just go ahead and say that.
I have love for Vanderbilt.
I love Vanderbilt. They're just not any good.
Well, yeah, and they have they can't figure out a quarterback. You know,
They've played like 4.
Yeah, and this now they're with a freshman who's supposed to be the big 6'5", 240 runner. You know, so which is disappointing. This year's been disappointing considering what they did last year. You know, they came on and beat some teams, and you know, it's a little disappointing.
It is. They've got Auburn at home, and they travel to South Carolina and Tennessee for their final game of the season.
That's 0-3 right there.
They can't sneak one in, you say?
No, they will not sneak one in.
Maybe Auburn.
You think?
Auburn is up and down, and it's at home, so that might maybe.
I'd love to see them beat South Carolina, but just because they could sink.
Did you pick them?
No.
That didn't take long. No, not at all. All right, the Vols.
But you're right. Offensively, too, they struggle. Some Auburn does, you know, but they got to struggle a lot for Vanderbilt to beat them.
Yeah, they do. Tennessee went up to Kentucky. It wasn't pretty, but, again, we'll take the win. Joe Milton, 17 of 20, 227 yards. Got it done.
I got to take up for the Vols. They've received a lot of grief about Kentucky. Kentucky's a hard place to play. And they went in there and, you know, yeah, Kentucky scored some and kept it close, but Tennessee kept putting some points on the board. I thought they played, you know, for a road game, if you come out with a win, you've played well again in the road in the SEC, I think. So
well, Kentucky's trying to take that next step, and they keep thinking they're ready to take it. You know, for us, be honest, it's Florida and Georgia. For Kentucky, their next step is Tennessee, and they just can't seem to go that hurdle, which doesn't bother me a bit because they keep talking smack up there in Kentucky.
They've got a rough little set of games though here, Missouri and then Georgia. That's not easy.
We've got a freebie this week, hopefully UConn, and then going to Missouri and playing Georgia back to back. That's going to be a tough 2-game series there for the Vols.
Did you see where the UT is going to be honoring Pat Summitt? They're going to wear some of the light blue trim and all because of the UConn Tennessee women's basketball games.
Oh, wow. That's weird. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. If you notice your pigskin picks, you see when I put that in there, not lady basketball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not lady basketball. I think we're all going with the Vols on that one, too. That's a pretty solid bet on that one. One of the neat things they talked about last week, I heard, was talking about Josh Heupel's offense again. They've been bolstering the running game because, of course, the running game's been helping out so much. Average passing yards per game, 221.8 yards per game. Average rushing yards per game, 221.8 yards per game.
Would you call that balance?
I would call that.
So what's the problem? You can't make them happy. They lost to Florida. That's a no-no. You cannot lose to Florida. It's particularly when you're supposed to do better than they are. Yeah, they played terrible. Played like the game against South Carolina last year, flat. And that was with Hooker, and that's the game I think he got hurt in too.
Yep.
Right.
So comebacks weren't going to happen. But.
Every team,
we got to get over the 9-3. We're 9-3. We got to get over. We're going to wind up probably 9-3.
9-3, 8-4 with like I said, with Missouri and Georgia. That's 2 really tough games. But everybody got spoiled when we led the nation in offense. Quick strike, touchdown, 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 and then now if you don't score a touchdown in under 2 minutes, well, this is boring and they're playing terrible.
I just think Hooker had a little bit more into the offense. I mean, I don't know. He knew he could make reads quicker than Milton, and I think there's some things he does better than Milton, although Milton's arm's like unbelievable. But I do think offensively, the way they move the ball, they did it better with Hooker than they do with Milton. But that's not saying that Joe Milton's not good. I'm just saying Hooker was really, really good.
I think he's been improving all season long. Like I said, 17-20, you can't ask for much more, and Heupel knows what he's got with him.
Right.
And puts in the positions to do that.
Didn't Hooker run more, too? I mean, he was more of a...
Yes, I mean, from the beginning.
Yeah.
We now see that Milton is running more.
Yeah.
Milton is. I've seen him making some adjustments on throws, different angles, and getting them in a little bit more touch. You can see improvements, but I think being aggressive with the run and knowing when to run, which he's starting to understand, is going to make everything flow better for him.
Well, and John, you're right. I think the word I would say for when Hooker was there, elusive.
Yeah.
He not only could run, but he can make people miss. Milton's just a tank, and he's just going to try to run you over, which I like. It's fun to watch.
And the wide receivers for Hooker were really, really good.
Really good.
They're in the NFL,
Well,
so
Vrabel said the same thing last week for Levis. He wanted to praise Levis, but he also said the receivers sure did help him out.
Oh, yeah.
When you get open, it sure does help out the quarterback.
That was the DeAndre Hopkins of 4 years ago. That one move he made to get open on that last touchdown was amazing. So,
and the first one, he just threw that guy to the side.
But at least Levis. Here we're going about the Titans again. Yeah. But Levis was targeting them. I mean, he could throw the ball downfield. I mean, he doesn't care. He throws it. You know, and I think Tannehill for some reason kind of got a little gun shy about trying to go deep. So
he threw all those interceptions there, and it got in his head.
I think he's afraid he's going to get sacked.
And he was watching the lineman coming at him instead of watching his receivers. But his receivers weren't getting open. I mean, football is a very complimentary sport.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the offensive line was keeping them out last week. That gives you time.
Right.
They really did a good job keeping them out. So,
but they got T.J. Watt tonight.
They better Watt out, I guess, right?
They got to get some help. They got a double team on him. They're going to have to do that.
They'll be doing a lot of chipping with the tight ends tonight and the running back probably.
We're back with the same left.
Their linebackers are good, but I think you can take advantage of Pittsburgh's secondary. I mean, I do. I don't think they're that great. So
no, but I mean, quarterback play that's such a huge thing in football. All right, we're going to start talking prep football, and we're going to start with the Tennessee Titans named Mr. Football semifinalist, and we've got gentlemen right here in Rutherford County, as we often do. Almost every year we've got representatives. In Class 6A, Braden Graham from Riverdale. We'll talk about that game here in just a second that we saw. And, of course, the other kid on the other side of the field last Friday night, Dwayne Morris for the Oakland Patriots. 2 very, very deserving semifinalists.
Well, if you saw the game the other night, you'd say that's definitely definitely they're deserving. Dwan Morris can run the football, and he is a tank bringing down. But what impresses me is his speed.
Yes.
I mean, he's got more speed than I think people even recognize. And we can talk about Graham all night long, Rod.
Yes,
I mean,
he can hit his target anywhere, all types of passes, because you have multiple receivers, and he's just right on the money.
I think the biggest person in that group that thought to worry about is that Boo Carter kid, Tennessee signing that's at Bradley Central right now. He's quite the athlete. In Division II Class A, Eli Wilson, Mr. Touchdown for Middle Tennessee Christian, is up for the award. Another guy in that area that they've played is that Wolcott guy from Friendship Christian. But I think Eli's got a great shot at that one in that division. He is putting up the points.
Yeah, and it's going to be done before the playoffs for the voting, and his team won. That helps a little bit.
He's deserving because he's been there every year. I mean, he's had the stats. I mean, he's got the stats to back it up. We had the opportunity to watch him the other night, and it was like 4th down and 1. Well, they not only got the 1, they got the 40 yards they needed for a touchdown. He's truly amazing to watch. And, you know, we got tickled when they announced they had senior night, and they announced the seniors, and Garen came up, and they go, he's a 12-year, from Middle Tennessee Christian School. That's so weird to hear that, But he's the real deal. He really is.
And he's not that big.
No, he's not.
But,
no.
boy, he runs hard.
Yeah.
He runs hard. And then I just want to give a little mention in Class 1A. Eagleville beat Cornersville. Huge game last week. And their running back, Ben Franklin, is a finalist. He had like 300 yards against Eagleville. Floyd was like, well, we just couldn't tackle him, but we put more points on the board. And then another local kid that some of you may know, Dawson White out of Moore County, right down the road there in Lynchburg. I worked with Holly, and Chris was at Riverdale, I think, for a while, and their son's a senior and a heck of a ball player too.
Yeah, he's really amazing, and we've heard about him all year, and well deserved. I don't know if any of them I would argue with. I think they're all deserving. So,
well, those 5 will be narrowed down to 3 finalists on Tuesday, November 21st. Mike Keith and Mike Vrabel, the Titans head coach, will announce that, and then those gentlemen will go. Those final 3 will go to Nissan Stadium for the awards ceremony on down the road. So good luck to all of our local kids. We've had kickers in the past. We've had some other running backs in the past. So it'd be good to see another Rutherford County kid.
Well, before we talk about playoffs, congratulations to the Riverdale Warriors on a 1-point win over Oakland. That snapped a lot of things. A home winning streak for Kevin Creasy. It brought the back to the Burrow Trophy back to Riverdale. In fact, I think it's the first time they've gotten it since we've had the actual trophy. So congratulations to them, which sets up a rematch. If they both can win down the stretch, it sets up for a really nice rematch later on.
No, we were all there.
Yeah.
I just want to know, Rod, first of all, would you went for 2?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
See, I wasn't going for 2. Then
I'm not going to depend on a coin flip and see Oakland score. I think in a overtime game, the running has a little bit of an advantage from where you're starting.
They were so sharp, but then the play that they scored the 2 on was horrible. It was a pinball machine type.
I was on the other end. Y'all had the view from above. I was on the other end. I just saw the ball go in the air, and I just kind of dropped my head. Went, dang, gummit, I can't believe that. And then all of a sudden I hear everybody just start screaming. I was like, I can't believe that.
Well, you've been in the booth with us, and I have to sit on the side keeping the stats. I have to get on the scoreboard side. Well, I couldn't see. Rod and Brian could, but I couldn't see the play. So I'm just sitting there, but I see them go. Oakland kind of went sort of like this, and then Riverdale went, and so I didn't know, but I didn't know how it happened, but it was crazy, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, and I watched it like 10 times on different people's phones where they had put it online. So didn't
it hit 2 hands before he caught it?
Tipped, guy started to catch it. He got hit, tipped again, and then the kid came sliding in. I mean, that's tip drill, or heck, in any sport where you see the ball bounce, somebody, if you're paying attention, you got to be there to make that play happen. He just happened to be there at the right spot at the right time. So,
well, if it happens, it's going to be some rematch.
Yes,
it's going to be some rematch. One other game I want to mention though last week, which was big, was the Siegel Stars They snapped their 5-game winning streak. They had to have it. They've been out of the playoffs the last 6 years. They went on the road to Rockville, won 20-7. Kudos to them. Rockville's still in the playoffs. The bad thing was Blackman got shut out.
Yeah, after beating Coffee County, did what they needed to do, but I'm telling you, that's football. I mean,
right, you got to run the right run at the right time.
That's right.
Well, and you felt like, no offense to Blackman, Siegel had such a great start. Quarterback gets hurt. You felt so bad for him because I don't think they'd have been in that position if he hadn't. All right, when we come back, we're going to break down all the games coming up tomorrow night.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Online at rayburn.net.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Sir Pizza.
Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name. But there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we're back to run down the playoffs. We'll start in Division II, Single A, Middle Tennessee Christian, talking about Eli Watson and his team. They have a bye, so they won't play until next Friday night, so that's not too long of a layoff. PCA is hosting, first year PCA is hosting Nashville Christian School. Nashville Christian School sitting at 4-6 on the year. They both played Mount Juliet Christian, both beat Mount Juliet Christian. They both played DCA, both lost to DCA. So pretty even matchup, gentlemen.
Well, I'm really reluctant to give out my predictions because I'm not sure that they've been totally recorded yet. On Pigskin Pigs. I get all I get now is I don't get any like personal touch anymore. It's just all sheets. It's just like here's your next. I don't know. It's just, but anyway.
The commissioner is busy at school right now.
What do you think, Rod?
Well, Nashville Christian has a 5-star quarterback. that can be pretty dangerous with their experience and all. Even though they haven't had as good a season as they were expecting, it's going to be hard, I think, to beat that type of leader at the quarterback position in the playoffs.
And Rod's talking about Jared Curtis. He is currently the nation's number 2 quarterback prospect in 2026. So he's a young kid, but he's pretty good. But PCA, I've doubted them all year.
They've killed me in pigskin picks.
And they have proven me wrong.
They've killed me. Coach Ferguson, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I do. I think I'm going to go with Nashville Christian. I don't think it'll be.
Well, everybody went with Nashville Christian except for myself, and I've been going against PCA, so I thought I shouldn't do it this time.
That's a good pick, really. I do. They've like I said, they've ruined my picks.
And it's at home. Going to 1A, the Eagles travel on the road to play the War Eagles of West Carroll. West Carroll sitting at 5-4. West Carroll, it's about a little over 2 hours away in Atwood, Tennessee. I've never been to Atwood, Tennessee. It's right above
Who'd
Jackson.
Who'd I go with? I can't remember.
Everybody went with, let's see here. Everybody went with Eagleville except for Rod. Rod went with West Carroll because it's the game on the road.
I think the road has a lot to do with it. I think, however, Eagleville goes on the road a lot. I mean, their home some of their games. I really just feel like they're probably a little bit better than West Carroll, just checking out things. But I think that's going to be real close. So not a bad pick, Rod.
No, it could go either way.
Yeah,
they're
both
pretty illegal.
records are about the same.
Yeah.
West Carroll's led by Jaden Milton, their running back, with over 1,500 yards rushing. He's averaging 9 yards a carry. We saw what happened last week, though. Eagleville let the Benjamin Franklin run all over the field and still got the victory. West Carroll has not beaten a team this year with a winning record, and your Eagles from Eagleville sit at 6-4.
West Carroll they're going to have to stop Eagleville. If you can stop their offense from scoring, because if they get 21 points, Eagleville's probably going to win the game. So I think that's what their goal is, to kind of stop Eagleville. But Eagleville bends and breaks defense, man. I can't pick against them. I'm just saying.
Yep. So
your daughter get on to you anyway.
Yeah.
She's your advisor.
I've got spies in the building now. I can't just talk about Coach Walker or anything.
It's kind of like when I picked against Riverdale, but I had to remind my wife I picked against them twice, and they
won.
They lost both those. And I said last week I picked against them, but they won. So
yeah,
I couldn't pick against Oakland. You couldn't pick against the King. That's what I said.
Right. Once you're always the king until somebody beats you.
Until somebody beats you. All right, moving to 6A. We'll talk about Riverdale first. Little scary game to me. Green Hill sitting at 7-4. Nobody understands what's going on with Green Hill. Laverne beat them about 3 weeks ago. Laverne, who struggled this year. But then they turned around and beat Mount Juliet last week, 35-3.
Was Green Hill not supposed to have a better season? I mean, wasn't the Laverne game a fluke? I mean, for them in terms of the regular season.
Earlier it was Mount Juliet and Green Hill were both undefeated.
Right.
And then Green Hill lost a couple games.
Yeah.
I think they lost to Cookeville, and then they lost to Laverne. I don't know if they lost who else.
And they lost to Gallatin this year.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they were in a little funk, and then they've kind of come back. I mean. But
then Mount Juliet,
preseason they were supposed to be,
Yeah, Mount Juliet, though, also about 2 weeks ago, almost lost to Lebanon. In fact, Lebanon had them down by 21. They came back and won in overtime.
Is that not a pretty hard pick, though, for Riverdale being the region?
Yeah, you would think. Yeah,
they're 7-3.
Preseason, Green Hill was probably picked number 1, and they end up being number 4. And Riverdale, of course, first time they've.
Of course, everybody in that region over there is kind of got the same identical record, 8-2 or 7-3.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of identical records, Cookeville sitting at 7-3, host the Siegel Stars. Tough pick for everybody. We went with Cookeville, but I think we only went with Cookeville because it's at Cookeville.
That's why I went with them. I think it's just kind of a rough road trip too. But Siegel defense, man, if they're healthy, they can keep you in the game, and the quarterback's getting much better, and so. I think that game's going to be pretty close.
Yes, and they were showing, even against Riverdale like 2 weeks before, that a little bit of balance in their offense during the latter parts of the game, able to move the ball. Their defense, I think, made Riverdale work harder than most teams have been able to do with them. So this is a possibility.
Oh, I think the Stars definitely have a chance on the road at Cookeville. I think we always hope for a sweep in the county, and I think that is a very good possibility.
Well, I'd hate for Mr. Creasy not to get a win, drive all the way up there.
All the way to Cookeville?
Yeah, and not get a win. But, of course, he'll eat somewhere. I mean, he'll have a pretty good evening.
He probably will.
Yeah, he will.
He may even spend the night and then just drive on up to Knoxville for the, the game on Saturday, knowing him. The Rockets. The Rockets may be having the hardest challenge. They're on the road at Mount Juliet, although I just said Mount Juliet got beat by Green Hill, but Mount Juliet sitting at 8-2. Rockville kind of backs their way into the playoffs. Brian's not very happy. Coach Guthrie not very happy with how they played last week against Siegel. I think that's a tough game on the road. And yourself and myself and Brian all went with the Bears.
Yeah, Rockville just
Jekyll and Hyde all year.
Yes, I mean I do think they've got talent to beat them, and I don't know if the quarterback's banged up a little bit, but they really can have games where they'll surprise you. And I'm hoping, not for my pigskin picks, but I'm hoping for them that they put it together and play a good game against them.
Well, I picked Rockville. I kind of got it. I pick them 1 week to win, they lose. Then I pick them to lose, they win. So I've been out of rhythm, so I'm going to skip it, and I'm going to go and say they're going to win this time. I'm going to catch it in their pattern.
Well, I remember I interviewed Coach Guthrie very first before the season started, and I said, Brian, who made your schedule? He said, I did. I said, your schedule is murderous row. Looking at his opponents, his opponents this year were 58-42, and if this matters, Mount Juliet's opponents this year, they played 40-61.
Yeah.
So Mount Juliet hasn't, outside of their region, they've not played a very strong schedule. And so Rockville is battle tested. Rockville's played some very high quality teams and lost close. To
well, if it's a do or die game, Rockville seems to kind of put it together for those kind of games. So I think Siegel sneaked up on them a little bit. They had a big win the week before. I think Siegel kind of sneaked up on them. And let's face it, Siegel's not bad. I mean, they had misfortune of the quarterback going down. But Rockville, I'll put it this way, Rockville's dangerous. Let's put it that way.
They are, but you know how it is. You know when you win a big game, they knew they were in the playoffs, so getting up for Siegel and knowing how Siegel's season's been going, that was a hard game to get up for. That's why I'm worried about Green Hill.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We beat Oakland. We beat Oakland. We're beating the king and the top dog. Now we're going to cruise the first couple weeks in the playoffs, and you better not put it on cruise control. You're going to get beat.
No, you can't get comfortable. And then a lot of times you think, well, we beat Oakland. You get kind of comfortable. Well, okay, this is going to be all right.
Well, I'll tell you a group of kids who probably were not comfortable this week. Because did you watch the post game at the Oakland Riverdale game? Did you see what Coach Creasy did to those boys?
No.
They sit and they watched all those people coming on the field, jumping around. I mean, I looked down the field. Creasy didn't say a word. He was standing aside. Those boys were in a half circle, all watching. And you know he's used that all week long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That I wouldn't want to be Gallatin. I just don't think.
The green wave is not seeing a wave until they get over to Oakland tomorrow night. I think this one, Gallatin's not a bad team at 7-3, but they have not seen the likes of Oakland, have they, Rod?
So you think they're going to see the red wave?
They're going to see a red wave, and they're going to wave them right out of the playoffs.
Dwan Morris. And Ashton Jones was under the weather, so I'd say you'll see him pick up the slack a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, tomorrow night, also we've got Stewart's Creek on the road at Ravenwood. Ravenwood's a really good ball team. They've got 3 losses, but that was to Alcoa, who everybody thinks is going to win for the 9th time in a row. Oakland, which we just talked about, and Brentwood.
It's undefeated.
Yep. So they've played a real tough schedule. Stewart's Creek, on the other hand, their 3 losses, 8 to Rockville, 3 to Antioch, and 1 to Smyrna. Again, I think that's Stewart's Creek's a team you don't know exactly who's going to show up.
No, and offensively particularly, they've got some weapons, and quarterback needs to have a good game. I think the defense is pretty solid. I don't know that. I think Ravenwood will score, and score quite a few, but I think it's Stewart's Creek's offense that they've got to be concerned about. So,
well, every week it's a different person scoring for Stewart's Creek, which is surprising me.
Yeah. And they got nothing to lose, do they, Rod? I mean, let's come in, let's take on Ravenwood. Let's go.
Ravenwood's been there several times, gone far into the playoffs.
And then, of course, the last game to talk about is
I don't want to play at Ravenwood, though. I don't like playing there. That's the thing that bothers me. Going to Ravenwood.
I've never been to Ravenwood.
Well, if you go one direction, you'll get under a bridge and you can't get past it, so you have to drive around. And it's just it's kind of a tiny, like they're all on you, you know. So that concerns me for Stewart's Creek.
Well, you won't have to worry about that tomorrow night because you will be down in Smyrna.
Oh,
for Independence versus Smyrna, and Miss Sutherland, he is singing your praises as far as the night. I mean, maybe it's not Miss Sutherland, but somebody's putting a lot of nice food up in.
Well, I think it's Jeff Shipley, but I really hate to give him a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But a tough place to play. Smyrna's a tough place to play. Mm-hmm. All the alumni will be there. You'll see purple and gold everywhere. Matt Williams can be a miracle worker sometimes. I really think a lot of his coaching and what he's done with this team and kept them. You could get after 0-4, you could have just had a team that shut down on you, and they didn't. They responded to him, and they won 6 straight. So Independence has some weapons. You know a little bit more about Independence than I do, Rod.
Well, they're different now.
Yeah.
I mean, we've known them for being the spread, really
throwing it all over the field.
And Smyrna's had trouble. They've been beat by Independence in this first round game several times. But this is more of a running team. They've got, I think, only got 400 and some yards passing. So it's a running team, and I think that falls right into Smyrna's hands.
That helps, definitely. Yeah.
So that should be a great game tomorrow night. Countdown to kickoff about 6:45, 6:50, then official kickoff with Brian, John, and Rod at 7 o'clock.
We'll be on at 6:30.
6:30. Wow, you got 30 minutes.
Yeah, Rod and I have our own show. Do you not listen to our games at all? We have our own. Oh, that's right. You're at a game.
I certainly do. You know who's bossing me around at 6:30 on a Friday night?
But Rod and I will go on the air at 6:30, and then the great one will join us about 10 till.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. No, I don't get to listen.
I just want to get some publicity for our show, our pregame show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can listen more night.
Are you doing reports?
I will do that if the.
Okay. We'll be in touch.
If the people would like.
Probably will ask you to do that.
Okay.
Just plan on it.
I'll be glad to.
Okay.
I'll be glad to if I'm not freezing out there.
You got the man right here that's going to get you on the air. So Jackson's here. So.
That's up to Jackson. He drops me sometimes. It hurts my feelings.
Well.
So that's the way it goes.
He didn't really want to tell you that, but
Well, let's take this last minute, do a little quick pigskin picks report because I heard that was needed. There are playoff implications now. Myself and Brian Baird are tied.
Whoa, what a coincidence there.
It's tied. Yeah.
What
a comeback by the commissioner.
What a comeback by the commissioner.
Hey, it gets better.
I don't care if we go to 7:20. I'm going to get
Rod Edwards is 1 game back.
Way to go, Rod.
Rod is 1 game back. You are 3 games back.
I'm out.
Danny's 7 games. Nobody's out. It's playoff time. You know how it goes. We'll dwindle down, but playoffs are up for grabs. We all went with Riverdale, Cookeville, Oakland, Ravenwood. We split a couple of games. The Rockville Mount Juliet
Rod
games.
Could pick up a game.
Independence and Smyrna. But I'm going with the Dogs there, and so did Danny and Rod. Y'all are still going with Independence because we know what they can do to the Bulldogs. And went with the Vols and Auburn, and we split on the Titans. John and Rod went with the Titans tonight. I just don't have faith in the Titans against the Steelers. But
who knows what to pick? The Titans are. I mean, I flip a coin with them every week.
It could change at any time. When we come back, we're going to close out this show for this Thursday night.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done, 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 done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
Life changes, then it changes again. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure that you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
All right, we're putting a wrap on this Thursday night show. Looking ahead, again, tomorrow night at 6:30, John and Rod will be for their kickoff show.
The John Day Countdown to Kickoff.
John Day Countdown to Kickoff.
With John and Rod.
With John and Rod. Kickoff again at 7.
The Big Johns.
The Big John. And then I'll try to throw in some Riverdale Green Hill updates along the way. Saturday, the coaches show. All the coaches will be here if they're in the playoffs. I'm not sure about Middle Tennessee Christian, or, of course, Laverne is out.
We are having the volleyball coach, I think, is going to come for Middle Tennessee Christian School.
Ooh.
He's got a lot to talk about.
He's got a lot to talk about.
Great season.
He had a great season.
Yeah.
MTSU football, again, kicks off at 3:30, and then the kickoff at the game at 5. Monday, doubleheader, men's and women's basketball at Middle Tennessee. Women's play Memphis, men Northern Kentucky, and then finally the Rick Stockstill show on Tuesday. So get out, enjoy a playoff game tomorrow night, folks. If you can't, WGNS has Smyrna and Independence.